So first, I would like to thank you all for coming this evening. It's a pleasure and a privilege to share with you these glorious teachings of Lord Sri Krishna as delivered by my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, for our pleasure and for our advancement in spiritual life. Or in other words, how to come from state of misery to a state of ecstasy. This is what he came for, to bring a level or a degree or a quality of happiness that is unheard of or unknown by the ordinary human being. So tonight I will be talking on a very important topic because there is so much chaos and violence in the world, and the question that everybody asks, and they should ask, how do I get protection from this? So many people at so many places have been harmed, they've been hurt, some have been killed. In some way they have been hindered in their life or hurt in their life. So I'm going to talk tonight about how you can have absolute protection. That means protection which without limit by someone who has the power to give you that protection. How many of us here know the Jaya Radha Madhava song? Nobody knows it? One person, the whole, no, two people, two devotees? Oh, now more hands are going up. Thank you. I thought I was going to be alone for a moment. So you took away all my anxiety. Thank you. So please sing loud and strong. Give it your full best. Let Krishna know that you really mean it. This song, the meaning, glories to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Lord Krishna engages in pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. He is the lover of the gopis, the lifter of Govardhan Hill, the son of Mother Yashoda, and the delighter of the inhabitants of Braj. He wanders in the forest along the banks of the river Yamuna. Let us all offer our humble obeisances at his lotus feet. Hare Krishna. That is the meaning of this song we will be singing. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Yasoda Nandana Vijana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vijana Ranjana Yamuna Thera Vanachari Yamuna Thera Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yasoda Nandana Jana Ranjana Nandana. Yasoda Nandana Jana Ranjana. Amuna Tera Vanachari. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yasoda Nandana Jana Ranjana. Yasoda Nandana Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Yamuna Tera Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajaka Astatura Sata Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajaka Astatura Sata Sri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Anantagoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sukho Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath. Shamkun Radhakundi Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navdeep Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Te Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pachadane Nirvashesha Shunyavari Paschitya Deshataya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll be reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, text 57. So for those of you who have your smartphones and have the Bhagavad Gita in your smartphone, I'll give you about 20 seconds to load it so that we can chant it together. Or if you need an extra 5 seconds, we can do that too. Anyone want to do it? It's very nice when we all chant together, but it's not absolutely essential. Okay? Chetasa sarva karmani. Come on, I want to hear you. Chetasa sarva karmani. Mai sanyasya matpara. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Machchita satatam bhava. Chetasa sarva karmani. Maya sanyasya matpara. Buddhi yogam upashratya. Machchita satatam bhava. Chetasa sarva karmani. Maya sanyasya matpara. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Machchita satatam bhava. Who would like to chant? Chetasa sarva karmani. Maya sanyasya matpara. Come on, everybody. Buddhi yogam upashritya. Machchitaha satatam bhava. Next. Chetasa sarva karmani. Maya sanyasya matpara. Machchita satatam bhava. Anyone else would like? Everyone's welcome. Some of the children do better than the adults. Any children who are knowledgeable in some of these verses? No? Okay. All right, so we'll go to the next point. I will give the translation of this. Remember that this is a battlefield, and Arjuna has been hesitating about wanting to fight this battle because he does not want to hurt or injure or harm many persons on the opposite side, the opponent's side, who are his friends, they're his relatives, grandfather, cousins, teachers, and he has an affection, a strong affection for them. So think about his position. If you had to go against a relative, a close relative, one whom you have some affection for, and you have to try to kill them in order to establish righteousness religiosity, propriety in a society. Not easy. So Krishna is dispelling any illusions that he has developed, which is preventing him from doing what his duty is, which is to protect society, defend society against unrighteousness, which has been manifested by Duryodhana. Duryodhana is an evil, demoniac person who is greedy, hostile, and murderous. He will do anything to attain his goal, although externally he appears to be very friendly and very loving to the people. But internally, he hates the Pandavas, and he tried on several attempts to kill them, simply that he could get full control over the kingdom. So, before the battle starts, Arjuna, one of the 5 Pandavas, has told Krishna that I can't fight this. I'm just shaking all over. And he began to quiver and cry. So Krishna is now, as I said a moment ago, dispelling his illusions. And he's telling him that you have nothing to be afraid of. Absolutely nothing. So the translation. In all activities depend upon me. Repeat. In all activities depend upon me. And work always under my protection. In such devotional service. Be fully conscious of me. Once more, in all activities, just depend upon me, Krishna, and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. I will read through the whole purport first before making any comment, and then I will comment on different aspects of the purport and the translation. So each word, each sentence is like a jewel, and if we internalize it, take it within ourselves, and Krishna helps us, enables us to fully understand it, we will be fully protected throughout our lives. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, he does not act as the master of the world. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So where do you get that direction? From the Bhagavad Gita, and also his representatives who can explain those directions in terms of our daily living. Sometimes it is difficult to fully understand them because they are expressed in philosophical and theological terms. But the job of the devotees and disciples is to decipher for persons who are having difficulty understanding the language, to make it clear, to make it workable, so that everyone can take the benefit of these wonderful, glorious teachings. Srila Prabhupada continues, a servant has no individual independence. He acts only on the order of the master. And who is the master? Krishna. Yes. A servant acting on behalf of the supreme master is unaffected by profit and loss. Well, if you're a servant to a master, if there's a profit, well, you have to give it to the master. And if there's a loss, then the master takes it. The servant just does the job. He doesn't take it. So what is being said here is every one of us has to consider himself or herself a servant of the Supreme Lord. And whether good comes, whether bad comes, pleasure or pain, it's irrelevant. The only thing that's relevant is that we are serving with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our life, with all our love, and doing it as best as we can. And leaving the results to Krishna, who's invisibly arranging so many different things to happen according to our needs and our karmic reactions coming to us. Now, one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna. But when Krishna is not present, how should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. That's a very important point. It doesn't mean that Krishna has to be here physically so that you see his form. His words, his ideas, his ideals, his guidance is all in the Bhagavad Gita. This is all from the Bhagavad Gita, of course. So if we follow that, then we will get the same result that Arjuna got. At the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, "Now I am confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure due to miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a servant surrendered unto you." And at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled?" And Arjuna says, "My illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am firm and free to act according to your directions." So he started out completely feeling helpless, feeling incapable, feeling frightened, and now at the end of 18 chapters, complete turnaround. The turnaround is that Krishna totally convinced him. He took away all the illusions. Krishna gave him those illusions. By the way, nobody should think that Arjuna is really as illusioned as he appears to be. That was a temporary state of mind. Krishna put him into that state so that he would ask the questions that he asked, and so that we, the devotees down the centuries, would know the answers that Krishna gave to those questions, which we ourselves, who might be in a similar situation in our own lives, might ask the Supreme Lord. So the answers are in the book, not blowing in the wind. They are in the book, okay? So, if one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative Krishna, then the result will be the same. The Sanskrit word matpara is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness. I'll repeat that. It indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. So some of us may wonder, I'm studying to get my master's degree, my PhD degree in computer science, or for medicine or dentistry or teaching, engineering. Yes, please offer obeisances, please, out of respect to the deities. At least those of you who respect the deities. Yeah, at least bow the head at least to show them that you have some respect for them and you're sorry to see them leave. Okay, thank you. You get many blessings when you do that, by the way. Sometimes people come and tell me, say to me, bless me, bless me. If you don't bow your head to the Lord, no matter how many blessings I try to give you, nothing will come. I'm serious. If you don't love the Lord, then who works through me, why should he give you any blessings? He won't give you any. So show your respect to the Lord. This is a form. God is omnipotent, all-powerful. He's not just a piece of stone or a piece of marble or a piece of gold. But in the gold, the pure love, the pure divine Lord manifests through that. Just like the sun manifests and radiates light, the Lord radiates his love, his blessings, his kindness and sweetness, at least in response to our respect. Is that all clear too? If you don't respect somebody, don't expect to get respect from them. And if you want the blessings of the Lord, and you come to me and you say, please bless me, my answer is, if you love Krishna, then Krishna's love will flow through me. If you don't care for him, if you ignore him, if you disregard him, if you're indifferent to him, if you think you are a Lord, sorry, you come to the wrong person. I can't help you. Read the Bhagavad Gita again and again. Then come back, and I hope maybe I can then. So going back, I just said this verse, coming to the next, and while Yeah, it indicates that one has no goal in life save and except acting in Krishna consciousness, just to satisfy Krishna. We may try to satisfy ourselves for our own sense gratification, mental gratification, intellectual gratification, but they will bring us only temporary pleasures, temporary benefits. You have it, then you lose it. That's a confirmation, by the way. So you have it, and then you lose it. You may accumulate much money, or much jewels, or many objects, such as cars and homes and airplanes. You have all of these things, and you may feel very good that you achieved all of this. You have all of this. You made it, and then you have to leave it. Working for a big zero. Have it only to leave it and to come back and start all over again. What is the value of that? Wouldn't it be nice to have something that you can take with you forever? And that is what Krishna is offering you. He's offering you his love. He's offering you his bliss. He's offering you this joy. He's offering you security. He's offering you peace. He's offering you strength. He's offering you his love. You have them forever. When you die, you leave. You go back home, back to Godhead, and continue your life. You acquire things, build things, develop things, own things, then leave things, only to be miserable. Yes. Who wants to be miserable? It's part of being a human being, but you can be a divine being. You can be a divine being by becoming dedicated to, devoted to, completely sold out to and surrendered to the Supreme Lord. So let me finish this, and I want to get into the protection aspect because many of you have come to hear that. Everybody wants protection. Why not? So, and while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. And here's how we should think when we work. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty, whatever it is. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a sanitation worker. Maybe you're a gardener. Maybe you're an engineer. Maybe you're a mathematician. Maybe you're a scientist. Whatever you're doing, what is said here is we must think in the following way. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. That way, although you may be employed by a school system, by a government system, by some organization, and they may be your boss, they are the ones who give you a paycheck, but ultimately, they can be dissolved and destroyed by Krishna in the wink of an eye. So, in the real true sense, you're really working for Krishna, even though you think you're working for this person, that person, this person. That person may be here today and gone tomorrow. He's fallible and he's limited. But Krishna is infallible and unlimited. And consequently, when you understand that he's the person whom we must work for, because not only is he infallible and unlimited, but he's omnipresent, present everywhere. You're my heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, in everyone's heart, hearing, seeing, and feeling what is going on within you. Knowing what's going on within you and also giving you your karma. Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart and I'm directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So Krishna is there directing. He gives permission for us to do things. He gives enablement. He enables us by giving us the capacity, ability, talents. And he also gives the arrangement. Nothing can be accomplished unless there is permission, enablement, and what's the last thing I just said? Arrangement. So Krishna makes the arrangement so that you can fulfill and satisfy your desires. Without his okay, without his permission, without his encouragement, nothing can happen. We think we're the doer, but we're not. You say, I earn money, I have so much food. Well, who's enabling the food to grow? We enable? Yes, we put the water on and the air and the sun goes, but suppose there's no water and Krishna is just in charge. He's in charge of the water. Sometimes a place has a drought for years and the people starve. So everyone's eating here because Krishna is giving his blessings. But of course, many people in their egotism think, well, those people are horrible people there. That's why they're not eating. Oh yeah, we're so wonderful. We're so sinless. We're so kind and great and glorious. Oh, how nice you are. Not true. The more we think like that, the more the blessings will be withdrawn. They'll be taken away, and we will not have them. Even though there is plenty right in this city, where I live in Los Angeles, there's plenty, plenty, plenty. And there are people living on the streets. There are people who are going hungry. Because it is their karmic reaction, because they acted in ways which were opposed to the laws and the regulations and rules that Krishna established for human society to function in a peaceful, secure, and happy way. So they created conflict, they created violence, they created difficulties, and the result is they don't eat. Okay? Nothing comes out of nothing. Or I should say, something comes out of something. It's a better way to put it. And we are responsible for the actions that we perform. Yet, we alone may have difficulty performing an action which we know should be done, but we have difficulty doing it. But a person who takes shelter of Krishna, as it says here, takes shelter of him, depends upon him. As the verse says, in all activities, Krishna says, depend upon me. Work always under my what? Come on, you all know the verse. Protection. Work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So instead of just working and endeavoring and depending upon ourselves, we depend upon Krishna, who's all-powerful. So if you're having that difficulty, I just said, he can give you the help. He can give you the strength. He can give you the ability. He can give you the talent. He can give you whatever it takes, as long as you submissively, lovingly, devotionally beg, my Lord, I need your help. I can't do it on my own. Could you please assist me, help me? That kind of prayer, which comes from the heart. Krishna is the swift giver, the swift deliverer, and fulfills your desire. But when you say, Krishna, please, give me some help. I want some help. I want some help now. You demand, you don't get it. You don't demand from the Supreme Lord. You pray, you beg, you entreat. You ask with humility. And then you will get. Because that recognizes his supremacy, and it recognizes our smallness next to him. And once we recognize that, Krishna is ready to do so much for us. We can't even believe it. But we're always trying to act in the egocentric way. Let me go on to the next point. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. As I have said, I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty. So when you go to work tomorrow, think the same word. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna, and I will fulfill it for his what? His pleasure. That is what love is all about. Giving pleasure to someone. You have a child, you love the child, so what do? You try to give the child pleasure. Or love is another way expressed by relieving the pain and suffering. Your child has some pain, he's coughing, or his head is itching, and he's crying. So you try to relieve him of the pain. You take him to the doctor examines him. This is love. Love is relieving, and love is affection. In both cases, the whole idea is the object you want to give maximum satisfaction. So this is perfect Krishna consciousness. One should, however, note that after doing something, now this is also an important point Srila Prabhupada is making here. Doing something whimsically, he should not offer the result to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That sort of duty is not the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. What Krishna is saying here, yes, do your duty and do it with your heart. Do it as well as you can, the best that it is possible for you to do. And offer it to me as a love offering so you won't be attached to the action or the results of the action. He says, but don't do things which go against the regulative principles or commandments. Don't steal. Don't lie. Don't disobey your mother and father unless they're asking you to do something illegal. Sometimes parents, they may be weak, and the children may even be more moral. It can happen. So if they ask you to do things which are proper, moral, legal, then we should obey them. It is the proper way to act. Respect is the basis of a very, very loving society. If you respect me and I respect you, even though we have some differences, I'm ready to listen to your difference, because the fact of the matter, we have affection for one another. We have respect for one another. We like each other. We do things for one another. I gave that seminar on relationships a few nights ago, and I dealt in very great depth with this whole situation. So what is being mentioned here? For example, let us say someone here is out of a job, doesn't have work, haven't worked in about half a year. Unemployment has run out. But you want to make a nice donation to the temple. You see that there's that collection box over there? And you feel that, it's now coming Janmashtami. The least you could give is maybe $1,000 to the temple. And at least you could feel, well, I contributed. I did something useful. So but you don't have any money to do it with. So you go to the toy store and you buy a toy gun. And then you walk into Chase Bank or Bank of America with your hand in a bag, and then there's a little hole in the end of the bag for the nozzle of the gun to fit through. And then you say to the teller, that's what they called them then, now they call, I don't know, cashiers or attendant, please, I want every penny, every dollar in that drawer, right now, fast, and don't go calling anybody, don't look suspicious, just give it to me immediately. So she gives him $2,000, $3,000, and she counts it out. Now he knows he's got $3,000. He'll give an extra $1,000 to the temple. Well earned, isn't it? And so he walks out, nonchalantly. Meanwhile, he doesn't know that when the teller lifted up the last bill, anybody ever work in a bank here? Okay, well, very often the last bill is covering a signal. The signal is to the police department. And it signals the police department that someone is in the process of robbing the bank. No sound, no alarms, no anything. Immediately, the police department knows which bank it is, and the car, which is the police car, which is nearby, immediately comes zooming near. And as the man walks out and gets into his car and starts going away, meanwhile, the banker or the bank teller points to the car, and 3 cars come together, blocked. The man gets out, raises his arms, and has to give back the big $3,000 donation. And he spends maybe 3 years in jail for trying to do something whimsical. Please, even if you give 1 penny and that's all you can afford, a penny is, and you can't even afford the penny because you've got nothing practically, the penny will be respected and appreciated by Krishna. Krishna says, one who offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. What does it mean when Krishna accepts it? It means he accepts it and gives you the blessing with that acceptance. So whether you give a penny and you give it with your heart, or you give $1,000 and you don't give it with your heart, you give it so that you can brag to your friends, hey, I gave $1,000 to the temple. You think Krishna cares about your $1,000? He owns it all. You didn't really even give him anything. All you gave him is his money back. Krishna owns it all. He's in charge. He's the source of everything. He brings the sun. He brings the light. He brings the water. He brings the trees. He brings the fruits. He brings the vegetables. He brings the gold, the emeralds, the diamonds. He's the one who makes it all happen. So what are you giving him? Basically, all you're doing is acknowledging, this is yours, Lord, and I'm putting it back where it belongs, in your lap. May it be used to spread the glories of your name and your fame and your power and everything and all your opulences. So that's what the temple does. So when you take the temple receives your funds, so they have nice, beautiful Janmashtami festival, or maybe they have Rath Yatra out here? Yeah, there you are. So you have Rath Yatra, you bring the Supreme Lord out to meet the people, bless everybody. This is a good use of money. Give it back to God. Keep for yourself what you need in order to live, and give to the Lord a substantial percentage so that his work will continue. And you become an agent of the Lord, and you gain the blessings of the Lord. So when the Lord Jagannath goes riding down and he's blessing so many people, you are fully credited for that to the degree that you assisted in this wonderful festival. Is that all clear? Does anyone have a question on that one point? Other points we'll talk about later. But there's one point everyone should understand. I am an agent. I am a servant. I am a helper of the Lord. And when I give back to him what it belongs to him, then I'm just a servant. Nothing, I own nothing. Because at the time of death, what do you take with you? Nothing. So we all have nothing, really, except what Krishna gives us. I often say this very wonderful prayer. I am nothing, O Lord, except what you make me. I have nothing except what you give me. I do nothing, or I know nothing except what you teach me. I do nothing except what you enable me. And I want nothing except pure love of your lotus feet to pure, loving, devotional service. For then I will have everything and even more. Okay? So when we take that position of being the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, then our position is very properly centered. Our position is very properly centered. Somebody go upstairs and let them know that the dancing can start a little later. I'm serious. If it continues, somebody should just go up and let them know. Thank you. We appreciate that. They don't know that the ceilings, they do reverberate when you jump up and down. So, okay. So that sort of duty is not in the devotional service of Krishna consciousness. One should act according to the order of Krishna. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt honor thy mother and father. Thou shalt not commit adultery, no illicit sexual activity. This is a very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession. Let me explain that. A king has a son and daughters too. But the oldest son is the person who is next to reign over the kingdom. That's called primogeniture, if you want to know the fancy word for it. Those of you who are going to universities, you can impress your teachers with it. Primogeniture is the system in which the oldest son then becomes the next king. It's like he's like the disciple or the succession from the king. And same, when that son, he becomes the king, then his oldest son becomes the king. That's the general way that it works. So disciplic succession is, for example, my spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada. His spiritual master was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada is the successor, one of the many successors of Bhakti Siddhanta. And I'm one of the many successors of Srila Prabhupada. He's my spiritual master. And whoever will be my disciple will be my successor, and so on. And we try to repeat as close as possible to what the original person, the original personality of Godhead said. And that original personality of Godhead, what is his name? Just 3 people know? No, come on. I know I put people to sleep, but I didn't think I was doing that good a job tonight. Okay, continuing on. That order of Krishna comes through the disciplic succession from the bone. We all understand now what disciplic succession is from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master, that's a true spiritual master, a sincere one who lives for truth, is ready to die for the Lord and think nothing of it, because he feels that he should give 1,000,000 lives. He feels so indebted and so full of love for God. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. What does that mean? How does that translate? Inner peace, inner joy, inner strength, inner love, inner security, and, for which you all came tonight, inner protection and outer protection. Let me tell you a little story. It goes back several years. I was alive then when Ronald Reagan was our president of the United States. When he had just been, or just gotten into office, he was riding in a big limousine, and the limousine was surrounded by numerous Secret Service agents. You would think that no one could hurt, harm, maim, do anything offensive to the president because he was so well insulated with protection all around him. He got out of his car, and lo and behold, standing maybe 20 yards away, because there are thousands of people in the crowd there, a man or a young man named John Hinckley, trying to impress some movie star called Jodie Foster, took out his gun and opened fire on the president. Where was the president's protection with all the Secret Service? So we may think we have a police department, we have a state police department, we have the National Guard, and then we have the Air Force, we have the Navy, we have the Marines. We should not think necessarily, or the police department, that we are necessarily protected. Protection ultimately exists with the Supreme Lord, who arranges to have those people who are protectors in the right place and the right time to protect you. So when Hinckley opened up on Reagan, he got a bullet in his abdomen, but that's all he got. But his secretary, Brady, he got it in the head. He was less protected. The protection is from Krishna. Of course, the president went to the hospital, they took the bullet out, and he, of course, recovered completely from the situation. My point is this: we should never think, well, we have a great police department. What do I have to worry about? The police, they patrol the neighborhood all the time. In spite of that fact, police patrol neighborhoods in Beverly Hills, one of the most classy communities you can imagine. So many movie stars live there, so many billions of dollars in that area, and still people are getting robbed. Still people are being burglarized. How has that happened with all these technological devices? Well, these criminals, that's what they make a study of, how to undo those devices so that they can get in. There have been a lot of movies which showed how those things work. So we may think we're so smart, we're so capable, we're so able. All we have to do is rely on the technology, rely on the technicians, rely on all these externals to protect us, to guide us, to direct us, and we'll be really hunky-dory, well established in wonderful security. But the opposite is true. A man comes out of a doctor's office. Doctor said just a few minutes ago, you have excellent health. Your blood pressure is normal. Your heart is perfect. Your respiration is perfect. You have the proper, we have checked your urine. There's no excess sugar in it. We have checked your blood. You're a perfect person. 60 years old, nothing to worry about. Go about your business, do your job, take your vacation, just don't worry about anything. Thank you, thank you. So he goes out of the medical office, doctor's office. He feels so wonderful. The doctor gave him a clean bill of health. He's singing that wonderful Walt Disney song, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, banana peel. Slips on a banana peel, hits his head on the concrete. Boss, finished. No more zippity-doo-dah. Finished. We think all we have to do is go to the medical doctor. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the medical doctor. You should go. But don't believe they are the all in all. So many people have made the doctors their gods. Even I talk to medical doctors. They say, people, they worship me, as if whatever I say is coming from the Supreme Absolute. So please learn who to depend upon. The one who knows everything, who has everything, who is all-powerful, all-loving, wants to give you his greatest affection and warmth and understanding. He wants to help you become successful in your life, physically, materially, and spiritually. Sometimes people say, well, I still have some material desires. Don't worry about it. Let Krishna help you fulfill those desires. Eventually, you see how worthless they are. But sometimes we need to go through the experience to feel it, to taste it, experience it. And you say, why was I craving for all this? And maybe it's a particular food. Maybe it's to have a Porsche driving around. Maybe it's to have your own airplane. And you get up there the first time, wow, you'll say in heaven. Or you drive down that street with that Porsche, you know, or maybe a Lamborghini, and everybody's saying, wow, what a car. It's a $100,000 car. And you feel like you're on top of the world. 3 months later, nobody's saying anything. Nobody could care because somebody's new on the block. He's got a better car. And you feel like you're just so much. So what is the value of such? This is ego gratification. Ego gratification makes us proud. And pride goes before what? The fall. And what is the fall? What happens? We make wrong decisions. We make decisions which bring us misery, bring us harm, bring us injury, so many things. So many of us have made that, including myself, decisions which I never should have made. But because I did not have the grace of Krishna, I was not depending upon Krishna, as it says right here. Depend upon me. How do you depend upon Krishna? Well, you get down on your hands and knees and you say, my Lord, maybe I can do it, maybe I can't, whatever that obstacle is to overcome. But, yeah, go upstairs, whoever's going, the monitor, tell them to please put wings on their feet. They have to fly like angels. Thank you very much. A little levity in this type of serious talk goes a long way. So I hope they listen. Maybe they won't. Anyway, I think I've pretty much summed up all the main points of learning how to take guidance and direction and help. So you pray to the Lord, please help me, in spite of the fact that I can do this and I can do that, and I've done it 1,000 times. Who knows? Maybe I won't be able to do it this time. I'm begging for your mercy. I'm begging for your protection. I'm begging for your guidance. Please enable me so that I can be successful in my life and help others be successful in their life. Would you please do that, Lord? If you pray like that, Krishna will bless you. He will give you what you need, even your material desires. And as I said, eventually, that Porsche that you drove, it will become unimportant and not even you care about. But initially, because you had it in your mind since you was 10 years old, oh, I want to get that Porsche, I want to get that, but I forgot that some of these other sports cars. And then when you had it, you realize that it's just a big illusion. But you have to have it sometimes. Sometimes you have to taste it. You have to enjoy it only to spit it out or vomit it out. Okay? Are there any questions about this particular? If there are no questions, I'll end this with a little story.
I always had a question and I've got an answer about that. Is having a dream being materialistic?
Having a dream?
Being materialistic.
Well, it depends on what you're dreaming about.
Yeah, so I just got the answer.
Yeah, well, if you're dreaming about Krishna, that's not materialistic. If you're dreaming about praying to Krishna or loving Krishna or seeing Krishna giving out blessings to people, that's very spiritual. But if you're dreaming about sitting in that big Porsche car and everybody going, hey, Haribol, I don't think it'll be Haribol. I think it'll be something else. So, we're going to start Arctic now? Yeah? Just a moment. So there's no time for the story, okay? Thank you all very much. It has been my great pleasure to share with you. May Krishna bless you all unlimitedly, every day, every moment, and may you express your deepest love and sentiment and feeling for him. And every day should be a new day, a new life, a Krishna conscious life. Okay? Hare Krishna. Okay. Jai. Haribol.